Hello everybody, welcome back to the UKSA's Better Racing League. I am Lewis Edwards, and today I'm going to be taking you through our Division 1 proceedings this evening. We have got a 8 times 5 lap championship to bring you this evening. We'll bring up our format right now. These are the tracks. We're going to be racing at Austria, Belgium, Bahrain, Brazil, Canada, Italy, Hungary, and Mexico in that order. We will be having one shot qualifying before each race and then 5 lap race for each venue. We will use the in-game counter in terms of our championship points, and at the end we will divide the points as per usual with the top 15 getting points. So we're immediately going to get underway because we have got right into it. Everybody's gone for a set of soft tyres, but it's fairly expected. Get that off the screen. Now decides it wants to fade between each driver change. I do not like this. Anybody knows a way to fix that, because this is not going to become annoying. The race starts as soon as they've all loaded in after qualifying, so in about a minute's time. So I think we have to now go through something like this and select the driver, maybe? This is going to be a nightmare throughout the race, but I think this is a one-shot qualifying only thing. So it's going to be Simon Pez, last year's champion, who is standing in the Ferrari, who is going to be taking pole position for the first race. Thank you, Oscar, in the chat. It is my birthday today. Zibarks very kindly said you can do Division 1 as a little birthday present from us. It's going to be Simon Pez taking pole position for the first race. A 1 minute 3.820. That is a pretty fast lap to just come out of the gate and to immediately be on that sort of pace. That is exactly what we like to see from last season's champion. Not racing full-time this season, as I believe he is just simply enjoying the fact he won the championship, and is potentially going to be returning for guest drives and reserve fill-ins as and when he feels like it, and he's delivering a lot of pace. Now, there's quite a few drivers I have not seen before in this league, so we are going to be finding out what they can get up to. I've been loosely keeping tabs on what has been happening in Division 1, as in when I'm starting to figure out all the Division 2 graphics, etc. in previous races. So here we go. I'm getting ready for the first race. Now, I am going to be attempting to keep up with the standings partway through each race. I've got an Excel document sorted. So hopefully we will be able to keep tabs on live standings as we go. And we're going to get the lights on immediately. And we're away. Straight into the race, no messing about. It's a good start from Simon Pez. Looks like Nicholas Boiter has got it up into second place. There's a bit of carnage further back with drivers extending off, but no crashes as of yet. So it's going to be our last year's champion Simon Pez who's going to be leading them into turn 3. But there's a bit of a squabble over second place. It's currently Wumax who's taken it, but is going to be side by side with Reels Turavillo, new driver to the league, who is looking up the inside in the second sector and has got the move completed. Can Nicholas Boiter find a way through on Wumax? Not quite. As we head towards the third sector, Simon Pez is looking comfortable at the front so far. Get the money and run is looking for a way to pass Mati Peretz, our current division. Ooh, sideways for Get the Money and Run. And that has allowed Mr. Debro up into 11th place. As we're going to go back to the front. Can Nicholas Boiter make a move on Wumax, and can Wumax make a comeback towards Rils Taravillo? As we see, Jules has lost out to Eisenberg. There is a yellow flag in Sector 1. Get the Money and Run has had a crash, and I believe this has also involved Mr. Debro, as Rils has DNF now on the exit of turn, I think they're calling it turn 3. So chaos is going on as we would expect in a 5-lap race. But it's looking calm for Simon Pez out front at the moment. He seems to have a huge pace advantage over those behind. Can Eisenberg maybe sneak a position on the podium? We will find out. He's going to be in the DRS, but so is Nicholas Boiter. It's going to depend on the exit, as Simon Pez sets the fastest lap of a 1 minute 5.5. That is quicker than some people's qualifying times, believe it or not. It's a bit of a corner cut from Eisenberg. That's definitely going to be a warning. But he's not quite going to be close enough unless he makes a bit of a lunge to make the move on this lap. But there are going to be 2 laps after this. We're going to go further back to see if Clay Racing can make up the place on Dirt Shark. Not quite going to go for a lunge. He is going to be picking up 1 point so far, but he's got to be careful of Zabi Jaka, who is also only half a second behind. But he's also going to be looking in his mirrors at Graham, who is edging towards the Alfa Romeo driver. We're going to switch to Barks, who's looking to breathe on one of our hopefuls at the top of the Division 2 Championship, Tibran, who I believe also does race in Division 1. So for him, it's normally a 200% race. Another fastest lap from Simon Pez on 1 minute 4.3. He is loving life out front. A scene he is very used to. Now we're going to see, I don't think Nicholas Boiter is going to be close enough to make a move on Wumax this time round. But Tibran has made a bit of a mistake, and that's allowed Barks through. Clay Racing has also passed Dirt Shark. And so has Graham, as Dirt Shark used a bit more of that ERS deployment. It doesn't seem so. A little bit of a dive from Graham, but it didn't quite come off there. Is he going to be able to cover Dirt Shark? He is just about. As Nicholas Boiter is past Wumax, as we've switched away while these two are all fighting. But it is going to be Graham who picks up the place. Nicholas Boiter has found a way past Wumax up into second place. And we've got Jules in 5th, Barks in 6th. This battle is raging on for the final points paying positions. It's going to be Zabi Jaka, who has got 8th place at the moment. It's wide from Mati Peretz. It's very wide from Mati Peretz. Is this going to allow his teammate Graham up the inside? Yes, it is. So now Mati Peretz is going to be looking to get the DRS. We're going to switch back to Wumax, who is right behind Nicholas Boiter. Be careful not to get wing damage from that. Eisenberg is following very closely, and so is Jules. You've got plenty of action still to come. We've seen Dirt Shark right on the back of Clay Racing, and Trugster is close in pursuit of that as well. We've got new recruit Hercus Monti in 13th place, who is going to be filling in for Lost Doc today. And the gaps have begun to get a little bigger between these drivers. It's really going to be about Wumax versus Nicholas Boiter, I think. Not to be, Simon Pez has already won the race. It's going to be Nicholas Boiter in P2, Wumax in P3, Eisenberg P4, Jules P5. Barks has taken P6 with Tibran 7th. Zabi Jaka is going to be up to 8th place. Graham is 9th. Mati Peretz 10th. And those are the points finishes. Then we've got Clay, Dirt Shark, Hercus Monti, Trugster, Snaggletooth, Mr. Debro, Deepover, Rils Taravillo, and Get the Money and Run did not finish. So a crazy first race. We've got lots of action, but actually quite a lot of clean racing. And I think this format is going to lend itself to bringing us solid action for 5 laps. We're struggling a little bit to keep up. But I'm glad the switching managed to sort itself out. Truckster has left the session, so hopefully he will be able to get back in again. There we go, Simo Pez starting as he means to go on. It is going to be a tall order to displace the current Ferrari driver. I'm now going to grab a picture of the results. We're going to get that into our championship order. And it scroll down, of course it won't. With me. So now we are going to go back to intermission while all of this figures itself out. And I'm going to be popping our results into so we have got quite a full grid for this evening's proceedings. I'm just quickly going to get the results in so that we can then get a bit of a picture as to where everybody is going to be finishing. Now, I'm not sure how the penalties are going to work. I think they're then applied post race potentially to the next session. These are coming thick and fast. We're already loading in to the next session. Just going to quickly get this order finished off. And I'm going to be able to get the championship up on the screen very shortly. It's a good start for Simo Pez. Good start for Nicholas Boiter. Maybe to get one over on the others to get up to P2 towards the end there. It's always a little confidence boost when you win out a little battle like that. We are underway. Just going to switch back over to our in-game. As it's Get the Money and Run, who is currently on the pole lap. From Simo Pez in second. Hercus Monti up to third. Seems to be having a bit of a mind of its own at the moment as everybody is quickly switching between. But Simo Pez is definitely the one at the front, but it's Trugster now who seems to be the closest. And it's going to be Wumax up there again by the looks of it, Nicholas Boiter. It's the same sort of names towards the front. Dirt Shark is definitely looking a lot better this time around. We follow the admin Barks Littlewood into the final sector. Petit Peretz and Snaggletooth have retired from qualifying, so they must have been validated probably. And is it going to be Simo Pez? Yes, it is. By a comfortable margin for Simo Pez. That is a statement of intent from him yet again. It's going to be another pole position for Simo Pez. We're going to get underway very shortly. As we just wait for everybody to load in. It's lights out and away we go. There's been chaos in the background. I believe that's Clay Racing. Has gone round there. Can we make it through the next few corners cleanly? It appears so. There's a bit of ghosting. I think everybody has made it through cleanly. It's going to be Simo Pez from Trugster. From Rills Taravillo, looking to make amends for crashing out of the previous race. And Dirt Shark is down a 6th place. So not a brilliant start from him. We've got a yellow flag. I believe that is Mati Peretz. He's had a bit of an incident. Going down into the hairpin. Now down the back straight. Simo Pez is already out of the DRS range of Trugster. And Rills Taravillo is in hot pursuit. Now actually follow Nicholas Boiter, who is right on the back of Wumax, as you can see. And just behind him, Dirt Shark is very close behind. And it's going to be Simo Pez who sets the fastest lap, of course. Can Nicholas Boiter make another move on Wumax? Late on the brakes, bit of rubber banding there by the looks of it. But no harm done. Gonna get a good exit now. Not quite gonna have enough straight line speed. DRS not enabled just yet. I don't think that would make too much of a difference, as Wumax would have the DRS from Rills Taravillo in front. It's Dirt Shark that's really the one that's going to be looking for a move here, actually, on Nicholas Boiter. So maybe he needs to be looking in his mirrors a little bit more, but there's a little bit of lock up there. Mistake for Dirt Shark. Another little lock up. He's struggling a little bit with the braking balance by the looks of it. Nicholas Boiter seems to be stronger in this middle sector compared to Wumax. That's where he was beginning to reel him in on the previous lap. But Simo Pez has just run away again. Gap is up to 2.6 seconds, 2.8 seconds. He's gaining tenths per corner. But I think that was actually the game fluctuating it a little bit. And there's a yellow flag in Sector 2 that appears to be Zabi Jaka. The DRS will be enabled now, so this might give a chance to Not really. Nobody's close enough just yet. For the back, because Monty and Jules are going side by side. Jules is not having quite the same performance in this race compared to how he was doing in Austria. But this is only the second of 8 races we are going to bring you this evening. Gaps are beginning to ease out a little bit now. The chicane, Dirt Shark not the chicane, the hairpin. Dirt Shark seems to have sorted his braking balance out now. Now he's beginning to edge back towards Nicolas Beuter in his pursuit of 5th place. I think the main story of this race is yet again, Simon Paz is running away with it at the moment. When are we going to find a challenger, or is this going to be how it's going to go every race? We will find out, of course. It's a solid showing from Rils Taravillo. He is writing the mistakes of Austria well and truly in the history books now. He's put that past him and is now running solidly in 3rd place. Nicolas Beuter not quite close enough, but Wumax did feel the need to defend the inside a little bit, more like covering the inside of the track. Mr. Debro has gone past Tibran. Don't know if that was Tibran making a move or Mr. Debro pulling one on the outside, but either way, it looks like they are going side by side, but Wumax has kept the place. They've got a little bit of a gap back to Dirt Shark now, so they can afford to have a bit of battles, but Tibran is losing out to Jules as we speak, as Hercus Monty is getting in on the action as he makes a dive for the inside. Tibran closes the door. Not quite the space to fit a nose through there, wasn't quite alongside enough. And Tibran with some excellent defending. These two coming together for some clean racing in Split 1 as well as Division 2. But now Tibran, with a bit of DRS assistance, has made the move up the inside. Can Jules get a run back? No, he can't. And Hercus Monty can't seem to be quite in on the action just yet. We're going to be starting the last lap very shortly, as we watch from the rear of the AlphaTauri. Is Jules going to make a move? No. Going to wait for the DRS, which Tibran is not going to be getting. So is it going to be Hercus Monty that manages to make a move? We could potentially be looking at a 3-wide move into turn 1 here. Hercus Monty goes for the outside. Brakes latest. But Jules is leave him absolutely no room on the exit there. That might be one that stewards might have a little look at there. That was a bit close to forcing off the road. But it seems like Rils Taravillo is closing in on Truckster on this last lap. Not so sure we're going to see a last second dive from him, given he's going to be pretty happy to be scoring some solid points in this round. Made a bit of a mistake on the exit, but didn't appear to be punished too much there. So we're going to keep, he's going to keep going. To the final corner now. Going to be Simon Paz. Takes the win. It is going to be Truckster who takes home P2. Rils, P3, Wumax 4th. Nicolas Beuter nearly got Wumax. Dirt Shark, Eisenberg, Mr. Debro, Jules, Tibran are your point scorers. Hercus Monty, Deep Over, Graham, Parks, Snaggletooth, Petit Play Racing, and Get the Money and Run, and Zabi Jacket will round out race in Bahrain. So we are halfway through now. Not halfway through, a quarter of the way through. And at the moment, it's looking really good for Simo Pez, I have to say. Didn't see too much for the stewards to look at. Only the incident with Play Racing or Zoe Jacket. It was an Alfa Romeo spinning at the start of the race. Other than that, it was a solid, clean race, which is exactly what we like to see. Now we're trying to get ourselves championship order. And hopefully be able to get the results in shortly. Of course, we know Simo Pez will be leading, as he did win the race. It's Trugster P2. We're going to get the final results of the second round on our screen right now. Simo Pez, 2 fastest laps. 2 wins. That really is the story at the moment. So what can the others do? Well, it looks like we won't be getting a full picture, as that just seemed to end a bit abruptly there. Apologies for that. We're going to go back to the format screen. That. Now we're going to fill out our point scorers. And then we're going to try and we're going to get the order on the screen at some point through the next race. Everybody's immediately readied up, so they're all happy to get going immediately. We load into Belgium now. This one's a bit of a longer lap in terms of qualifying, so this race will be slightly longer by a minute or so. As in Belgium, a lap is more towards, you're looking at 1 minute 40 something. Probably about 42s, 43s for pole position. 41 if you're Simo Pez, potentially, if he has done some practice on Spa, which I'm sure he probably has. That's the sort of lap times that we're going to be looking at. Going to get back into the qualifying session now. Again, let's get the money and run at the start of session. Simo Pez has actually retired from the session, so he's wanting a bit more of a challenge potentially, or he's had a bit of an accident. We're going to spectate the AlphaTauri drive, get the money and run. He's on what appears to be a bit of a flyer at the moment. And again, it's Rils Taravillo up there in second place. It looks like it's Get the Money and Run who's going to be running his way to pole position. Into the final chicane, a little bit wide on the entry there. Just needs a good exit, and this is going to be pole position. But Rills has nicked it on the line. It's going to be Rills Taravillo, who is on pole position with a 1 minute 43.019. Quite a few people got disqualified, which means they will have extended the track or cut the track at some point on their lap. But it's very close between Get the Money and Run and Rills Taravillo. We're talking 20 milliseconds between the two of them. And with Simon Pez at the bottom of the order, this is going to make a tricky race. Simon Pez says he ever so slightly scraped the wall, and that caused him to DNF. So that is what's going on with that. And we're away. It's going to be Rills who gets the lead. It looks clean so far, but I've spoken too soon. There's some collisions further back, and it's Dirt Shark and Trugster. Simon Pez is still all the way back in 19th. We're going to have to see as Hocus Monty straight lines Rouge Radion complex a bit there, but it's Rills who leads from Get the Money and Run, from Jules, from Deepover, who's round. I think he was helped round a bit there by, might have been Eisenberg. We've got Wumax in 7th, just being passed by Zabi Jaka. Simon Pez has made his way up to 17th so far. Still Rills who leads. It's a bit wide from Wumax there. Still Rills who leads. Simon Pez is still in 17th, so not making strong progress as Mati Peretz has retired. That's either happened on his own or has been a collision with somebody else. You see a few moves being made into the final corner. Hocus Monty is going down the order. I think he may have been spun round. You see if Wumax, who's being shadowed by Clay Racing and Nicholas Boiter, see if he can make a move on Zabi Jaka here. Up to the Camel straight, 8th gear, no DRS just yet. To the outside, not quite close enough. That's not going to enable anybody to go up the inside though. And Zabi Jaka holds 6th place just for now. Nicholas Boiter going at it with Clay Racing though to the outside. The outside of Pouon. This is going to be Brave. Who's going to back out? It's going to be Clay Racing who backs out. Nicholas Boiter is up to 8th place. As Trugster has been passed by Mr. Debro. Snaggletooth has spun on the apex of Puon and has retired from the session. Simo Pez only in 15th, not able to make the same sort of progress. Pace, maybe he has lost, it looks like he might have lost a bit of front wing. That may be contributing. Can Wheelmax make a move just yet? He's a bit too far back. He's going to have to set up for the run. Down the Kemmel Straight, I think. Gaps have not been extending too much here. People have been able to follow quite nicely. Going to follow Barks to see if he can pick up final points paying position from Graham. And can Simo Pez rescue any more points from this race? It's a good run from Barks. Gonna have DRS now, so surely Graham's just gonna let him go. He knows there's no point fighting it. Dirt Shark is now getting past his teammate, Mr. Debro. Or is he? Mr. Debro has held it round the outside. Now Simo Pez and Trugster are in hot pursuit. I think Simo Pez has definitely got some damage there. You can just see the understeer when he tries to turn the car into any kind of corner. Max is right behind now. Surely here's the chance for a move. Zabijak is slow on the exit of Puon. Not quite to the outside though. Didn't quite have the confidence on the brakes that Zabijaka did. We enter Sector 3. Zabijaka's gone a bit wide on the exit here. This is going to give Wheelmax a chance on the run up to Blanchimont. Not opting to use any overtake. And there's a yellow flag in Sector 2. That is going to be Trugster dropping down now. It's going to be 14th for Simo Pez at the moment. Rills has managed to break DRS. That's going to be very important for the last lap if he can hold that. Nicholas Boyd just going side by side with Wheelmax though. All of that attempting to overtake Zabijaka. And he's given Nicholas Boyd a chance. But I think it's going to be a bit tricky to go side by side through Erosion. Wheelmax backs out. So now can Nicholas have a go at Zabijaka? Opens the DRS. Pez has picked up a time penalty, and so has Trugster. To the outside for Nicholas Boyter. There's contact in Zabijaka's round. I think Zabijaka might have just gone into the side, but he's pushing Mr. Debro very wide there. Sees the position. Barks is going slowly. He's missing a chunk of front wing, it looks like. It's all kicking off on lap 4 now. Zabijaka clings on to the final points paying position now. Simo Pez is right in this battle. There's a yellow flag. That might be for Barks, but I'm not sure. You can just see visibly the understeer that he's experiencing. Actually, Jules is looking to close in on Get the Money and Run. He's looking quite low on that ERS deployment, but so is Get the Money and Run. So it's going to be very difficult for either to gain an advantage from that. It's all going to be on the DRS zone. As we begin the final lap, it looks like Rills Taraville, barring a mistake, is going to be taking the win. But is Jules going to be able to pick up second place, or is he going to have to settle for third place? We will find out. The only real overtaking opportunity, barring mistakes, is down this straight. Or if your opponent gets a penalty for multiple warnings, that is, of course, another way. And that is going to Get the Money and Run behind Jules, but importantly ahead of Eisenberg. So actually now he's not going to lose a position anymore. Barks has retired from the session. I think he retired in the pit lane after losing a front wing. He realised there was one lap to go. He wasn't going to be making any kind of positions up from that. As we've got a mighty battle here for the final points positions. It's 9th and 10th that we're squabbling over here. Mr. Debro goes wide. Dirt Shark can't capitalise though. It looks pretty line astern at the moment. Going to the final sector. The only one that's close is Nicholas Boiter on Tibran. So we're going to stick with that. See if he makes a move. To the outside. That's on the grass. Is he going to make the corner? Yes, he is. Rils Taravello has won the race from Jules Eisenberg. Get the money and run. And Nicholas Boiter is going to beat Tibran to P5. Wimax P7. Play Racing is going to pick up 8th. Zabi Jacket is going to take home 9th. There's going to be no points for Simo Pez. Mr. Debro gets 9th with penalties. 10th for Graham. And that's going to be the points paying positions. It all began to kick off there on the final lap. Been a bit of a crazy race, this one. It's going to be fairly tight at the top of the championship as Rils Taravello picks up the win and with the fastest lap as well. That is certainly going to help his push for getting a strong result in this championship. There we have it. Head to our little intermission screen while we get set up for the Brazil round. We try to get the standings all dealt with. It appears we've got a fair few errors, unfortunately. The spreadsheet is not particularly wanting to work. It's unfortunate, so hopefully that will somehow sort itself out. So unfortunately, I'm not sure the standings is going to work. Unfortunate. As we wait to get into the Brazil race, I'm going to keep trying to get this one sorted. So we are underway for qualifying in Brazil. Let's get the money and run again. Simo Pez this time. Dirt Shark has retired from the session. We're going to watch a flying lap of the Interlagos circuit from Simo Pez. Hips the apex nicely. Short shift in the middle of the corner to get the exit. Down to third gear, yops to second. Short shifts up to third. Keep it flat through this left-hander. Use all of the road on the right-hand side on the entry. Hit the apex, but focus on the exit. And then take the line of least resistance and the shortest distance. Use all of the road on the left-hand side here and clip it all the way to the wall here. And it's a 1 minute 6.8 from Simo Pez. From Nicholas Boiter and Rils Taravillo are going to be the top three for the race. That is going to be the grid. As we head into the race now. Get underway very shortly. We wait to get underway. We're away. It's a good start for Simo Pez. Rils Taravillo and Nicholas Boiter going side by side for second place. Snaggletooth has retired from the session. It looks like it's clean for the rest of them so far. There's a Haas slow there. That's Mati Peretz. Back to the battle for the front, it's Simo Pez from Nicholas Boiter from Rils Taravillo. Snaggletooth has left the session. Got drivers going up and down, left and right here, so we've got a bit of wheel banging here. Got about 3 drivers off the track. The 2 Haas drivers going side by side. Jules is off in front. Eisenberg makes contact. And a bit of argy-bargy between him and Mati Peretz again there. Mati Peretz slams across him. At the end of it, it's going to be Simo Pez from Nicholas Boiter from Rils Taravillo, Mr. Debro. And Trugster is disputing that, however. He is going to be up the inside. To begin lap 2, he wants that 4th place. And Mr. Debro, Max in pursuit. Deep over pits from 10th place. Must have picked up some damage of some sort on that opening lap. We're going to see if Mr. Debro has got an answer. Or if, unfortunately, he is going to be stuck behind Trugster. Tip Brown and see if he can improve on his 12th position. It's a little bit wide there. Just get back to Wimax, who has passed Mr. Debro, who has not had a great exit onto main straight. So Pez with the fastest lap. Trugster is now beginning to look at the back of Rils Taravillo and thinking there could potentially be a move on. I think Dirt Shark has had a bit of an incident in Sector 2, unfortunately. And now here comes Trugster. He's got a good exit. Bills goes a little bit wide. And is Trugster going to be up inside? Not quite. He thinks about it, but decides otherwise. There is Simo Pez setting a fastest lap again. Trugster's dropped off of Rills, who is now on the back of Nicholas Boyter now. Got Woomax in pursuit of Mr. Debro. Not quite able to make a move just yet, but thinking about it. Rills has passed Nicholas Boyter, who's got a very solid exit there, and has made the move stick up into second place. As Woomax is very close to Mr. Debro, is he going to be able to make a move? Can't really make a lunge into that corner, however. He's very close to make that move stick. Now is Nicholas Boyter going to be able to make a pass up the straight with DRS? No, he's not. He's going to be looking in his mirrors at Trugster now. He's going to be looking to use that ERS to put Nicholas Boyter under some pressure to see if he can improve. But he hits the back of Nicholas Boyter. That's going to be damage. Boyter continues on. There's going to be damage for Trugster, surely. And is that going to drop him further down? Now we see Woomax looking at the back of Mr. Debro still. Because Monty makes the move on Clay Racing, but not quite. He sent it, but slowed the car down just enough to avoid an accident. Clay held it around the outside quite nicely. Simo Pez is having another one of those signature Simo Pez races. Deepova has retired from the session. Now we can see Nicholas Boyter. Is he looking to set up a move to the line? We are on the final lap. But it's going to be Simo Pez. He's going to take another victory. Boyter doesn't quite get there. Trugster clings on to fourth place. There's no gap, so I think it was even. To the millisecond, Trugster and Mr. Debro. Wow. Somebody save a replay and get a picture of that. Because I think they were dead even by the looks of that graphic. We see Clay Racing in 7th, Hercus Monty 8th, Derby Jack in 9th, and Eisenberg rounds out our points finishers. And we have Tibran, Graham, Matipret, Sparks, and Jules are the finishers. Get a money to run. Deepova and two others did not manage to finish the race. So that rounds out the next round. That is the halfway point, actually. We have now done 4 of our 8 races this evening. And it is another super race from Simo Pez. And this is how we stand so far. So Simo Pez is looking comfortable at the moment. And in fact, they are dead even between Rills Taravillo now and Nicholas Boyter. So we've got quite the intriguing race still to go. We're going to head back to our format. And I'm going to see if we can figure out who is going to be looking to gain some more places. I think that's looking fairly as expected at the moment. Although the gap to Simon Pez is quite large, it is almost a race victory over second and third. As we now get into the Canada race, Montreal circuit, we are on. We're on weather that could produce some surprises. We're on dynamic weather. That was the word I'm looking for. So, is it going to be rain? Or is it going to be sunshine? It's been sunshine for all of the races so far. So I do wonder what we're going to get for the weather today. As we wait for those drivers to ready up, we will begin loading in for the second half of this championship. We're then racing at Monza, Hungary and Mexico City to top it off. I think Simo Pez might have this one in the bag already, but who knows? He did crash out of qualifying in Spa, so it's not over just yet. And we're going to begin loading into the circuit just now. Here we go. We are loading in now. And news from the real life Formula One. Max Verstappen has been handed a 3-place penalty for that incident. But we're going to get underway for our own race now. So hopefully there'll be no battles over track limits, crashes or anything. We're just going to have clean racing. It's Mr. Debro and Dirtshock, the Red Bull pair, who are currently on the pace at the top of the charts at the moment. And Simon Pez is right up there with them. So is it going to be a Red Bull? But Trugster is interrupting this, and so is Simo Pez. Who's going to get it? It's Dirtshock from Trugster, from Simo Pez, Mr. Debro. Reels Taravillo is up there. Wumax, Nicholas Boiter, Jules and Eisenberg. But it's only a second between 9th place and pole position this time around. There we have it. That is going to be the grid. We wait for the lights. Five seconds to go, and then we're going to find out. Here we go. Trugster has left the session. The man on the front row is out of this race before it's even begun. And is that going to allow others to capitalise? Simon Perez immediately up into second place. Is it going to be clean? No, and McLaren is round. That's Wheels Taravillo. He's been tapped round. Nicholas Boyter's picked up a penalty. And Tibran is round as well. So we've got so many cars in a bit of a train. Mr. Debro goes up the inside of Trugster's disconnected car. And Simo Pez has gone for the lead already. Unsurprising. And can Dirt Shark make a move? Not quite. Deepover is retired from the session. I think it's Trugster's car still going backwards. Side by side between Get the Money and Running Jules into the final chicane. Too wide's just not going to happen. And sensibly backs out. It's going to be Simon Perez who has the lead from Dirt Shark. Already get a timing glitch there, but it looks like it's okay. Bit of a gap back to Mr. Debro. Wumax and Jules not far behind. I think track limits might be a little bit of an issue here. As in Canada, it's common to... It's quite easy to pick up a couple of penalties, as you really do have to commit to some chicanes. As we do have a bit of a timing glitch at the front. I'm not sure if the gap between Dirt Shark... it's coming back on this lap, so we're all good. Simo Perez is pulling away at the front. As we've got Trugster battling with Mati Peretz. As Stream Elements reminds those on Twitch, this will be on YouTube and we will post a full stream replay. So if you are enjoying it, you will be able to enjoy it for as long as our YouTube channel stays on YouTube. So for many years to come, if you want to rewatch this, you want to show your friends, then you'll be able to rewatch all of the action from this evening's proceedings. As Jules tries to create some more action by going for a move on Wumax, but not quite able to make anything stick. As Barks is going side by side with Eisenberg, fighting over 10th place. Jules has now passed Wumax, so he is up into 4th place now. As Hercus Monti is entering that battle behind, but unfortunately not able to make anything happen. There's a yellow in Sector 3. Rils Taravillo, second place man in the championship. He's not having a good one, and neither is Nicholas Boyter. So this is looking to benefit Womax quite a bit. He has got a 15-point deficit to those drivers in front. Oh, it's a bit slidey from Barks there. He's kept, and Nicholas Boyter's retired as well, and that's allowed Hercus Monti, actually, that mistake from Barks, to go through into 11th place. As we're seeing Trugster's AI car, I think it is. Or is it actually Trugster? It's a bit hard to tell. Sometimes in the replays. And Trugster's having a right battle with Mati Peretz there. It looks to have calmed down now onto the final lap. Simo Pez has pulled away for first. Get the money and run. Has closed on Womax a little bit, so that might be something to watch out for. It's also quite easy to pick up some front wing damage here. You just clip a barrier somewhere like here on the exit on the left there. And that does cost you a huge amount of lap time, as direction change is all important here. Let's get the money and run. Just shows how difficult it is to absolutely nail it. Trugster is now on the back of Zabi Jaka. There's a yellow flag in Sector 2. I believe that is Barks and Clay Racing have come together. It is, unfortunately, as Mati Peretz has been mugged by Eisenberg on the traction. As Trugster got enough with DRS. It's going to be Simo Pez who wins with the fastest lap, quicker than his qualifying time. Dirt Shark, Mr. Debro, Jules Womax, get the money and run, holds on. Trugster does come home 7th. Zabi Jaka 8th. Mati Peretz 9th. Eisenberg 10th. Hercus Monti in 11th, only just missing out on a point by 48 milliseconds. Nicholas got punted by Tibran and hit the wall. Yeah. It did seem like a bit of an odd place where his car was parked, so I did get the impression there might have been a bit of assistance, shall we say. As we see some more champagne sprayed, we get ready to prepare for our next race. Have a look at the standings. It's nearly 2 race victories to the good. So, with not long left, I think Simo Pez may be able to seal this very quickly. Simo Pez, yeah. Simo Pez is really absolutely on it. And with only 2 races to go, I would just like to point out that if Simo Pez had gained less than 10 points more on the others, he would have won the championship in that race. He's currently 48 points ahead of second place, and there are 52 points remaining. No, there are not, because we were at Canada, not Italy. So there are 70 8 points remaining. Is the maximum you can get. You can get 25 points for a race win times 3 and 3 fastest laps. So you'd get fastest lap in each of them because that counts in this system. We are going to load into Monza. This is going to be... I think Simon Pez is going to be hoping for a masterclass in this one, as it will be his home race, and it will also be his team's home race. So he's really on it now. He's come back to do some stand-in work. He is absolutely on it, as we really expected, to be honest. Yes, Max has got it absolutely spot on in the chat. It's been a brilliant start to his campaign this season, as we are now loading in, ready to go. Qualifying at Monza. We're going to try and pick a driver and hope we don't curse them. So Dirt Shark is first at the moment, but we haven't actually gone through any real corners just yet. We're on board with Simon Pez in our Ferrari. That is the home team. It's his home race. Not bad through the chicanes. You do want to be quite cautious through those. It's very easy to invalidate your lap, and then you're starting right towards the back. And we're now going down into Ascari. Simon Pez is in second place. He seems to be taking it quite easy, but certainly not too easy. Into the final corner he goes. But Trugster is going to take it by 0.4 of a second with a 19.5. That is a solid lap time, I do have to say. So that is going to be the grid for the Italian Grand Prix. It's going to be Truckster who's going to lead them away. Kind of chaos is going to ensue into the Rettifilio chicane. Hopefully not that much. We don't want any chaos in the interest of clean racing. So wait to load in. Got 3 more races left. Can anybody do? Can anybody dethrone Simon Pez here? But I think it's a bit of a formality at this point. So it's really a case of who's going to be second. And away they go. Straight underway. It's been a fairly clean start. It looks like Simon Pez might be going up the inside of Trugster. He is. Is he going to make the move stick? They're about 4 wide on the inside. Surprisingly, they've got no contact, but I think Zabijaka hasn't actually got away from the start. There's a Red Bull and a Ferrari in the wall further back. That's Eisenberg. There has been contact. A lot of drivers further back. So we well and truly cursed it. Truckster's on the grass and the gravel. And Rils Taravillo is up to second place now. But Simo Pez has had the first sector of all first sectors. And is 2.6 seconds to the good. As, whoa, we see chaos further back there. I think that was Get the Money and Run. You just cut to see cars all over the place at the moment. Gonna watch Tibran and Barks go side by side. So I'm hearing that Truckster is lagging. It doesn't look like it on this screen. So I'm assuming that is coming from somebody watching somebody's driver broadcast. It doesn't matter if they lag a little bit on my screen, because we're only commentating. It matters when there are drivers battling side by side. And Warren's come in the chat and said Truckster lags like that often, so that is a bit of a known issue, unfortunately. Not going to be an issue for Simo Pez, who has dispatched him and has put 3.5 seconds on him in a lap. It's very impressive. It's clearly getting used to proceedings again. Tiperetz gives Hercus Monti a bit of a shove through there, and that gives Jules the opportunity up the inside. Hercus Monti holds it around the outside. Not really space to make a move to the inside of Lesmo too. Now Nicholas Boiter is looking to get in on the action despite that 2-second time penalty, I'm assuming. Not really the space to make a move up the inside there, unfortunately. Now Truckster's looking to pass Rils Taravillo. The gap from Simo Pez is now 4 seconds. This has been an unbelievable first 2 laps from him. They 1 minute 20.3. That is quicker than everybody bar about the top 4 managed in qualifying, to give some context to how fast he is going at the moment. He is really loving this Monza circuit. Now here comes Truckster. Not going to be using any ERS. Rils goes very defensive. It's not going to give Truckster an opportunity. Not quite got enough overlap to get up the inside. But Hercus Monti is trying it again with Mati Peretz, and has been spun round by Nicholas Boiter, I believe it was. He was spun him round. That's definitely one for the stewards to look at afterwards, I think. Oh, as Tibran is now going to get past Barks. I think it might have been Barks actually involved in that, as he has now got no front wing at all. To the outside. I don't think Truckster's going to make it all the way around the outside of the Parabolica. Wumax in 12th has picked up a 2-second time penalty. I think the thing to note is that Simo Pez is just really disappearing off again. But Rils is looking good for P2 at the moment in the championship, as Truckster is a bit further down, as well as Mr. Debro. So can Rils defend from Truckster this time? In all honesty, it looks like Truckster is saving up for a bit of an attack on the final lap. He's not been one to use his ERS deployment that much, so we're actually going to watch from Mr. Debro. So they are in pursuit of that second place on the podium in Monza. Yeah, agreed. Simo Pez is doing a bit of a Hamilton from last year, and just like, yeah, you're right, guys. Yeah, I'll just have a couple of fastest laps if you don't mind me. These guys really are scrapping it out now, and this is where it's going to get tasty. As we begin the final lap now. The Trugster is going to get it into turn 1 by the looks of it. Rills is good on the brakes. Going to make it too wide. Mr. Debro's managed to pick his line. Actually disturbed the run of Trugster a little bit. He's going to have his work cut out trying to pass Rills into the second chicane. He's not going to make it stick. Now, what can Trugster do here? He's got the overlap. Is he going to be able to make it stick around the outside? It looks like he is. So it is going to be second place for Trugster for now. Now it's Mr. Debro looking to improve. To the outside. Not quite made it stick, but Simon Pez has already won the race for 1 minute 20.1. Almost into the 19s on race laps. It is going to be Rills and Mr. Debro behind. Got Mati Peretz running a quiet race up into 5th place. Tim Brown is going to take home 6th. Nicholas Boyder has retired, unfortunately. 7th for Hercus Monty. 8th for Snaggletooth. 9th for Barks. It's going to be 10th for Jules. And I think Wumax is going to lose out to Deepover on penalties. And probably Eisenberg behind. But is he going to lose out on track? I don't think he is. Deepover's not going to quite have enough. And that is going to round out the finishes of the race. Now only 2 more point scoring opportunities remain. It is going to be Simo Pez who has won the title. I think his lead is definitely unbeatable now. His fastest lap was 1.2 seconds quicker. Sorry, 1.1 seconds quicker than the next quickest car. I think that says enough about that race. And now with 52 points on offer, he has now won with 2 races to spare. And it's now going to be difficult for Nicholas or Trugster to pick up P2, but not impossible. It will be impossible for anybody to overtake Simo Pez, however. So congratulations to him. He'll be taking home the 15 championship points. I have a feeling he would love it if all of these points counted. He is currently 59 to the good of anybody else. So it is looking very good for Rills Taravillo, as Nicholas Boyt has had a few races to forget. DNFing in Canada and DNFing at Monza. Hungary is up next for the penultimate round. And we're just going to wait for the drivers to load in, and then we will get underway for the penultimate race of the championship. It's really all about second place now. I think Rills might be able to keep it safe, but the next 3 drivers are within 5 points. And yeah, Trugster's internet decided that it didn't want to work for that race. We are going to get into qualifying very shortly. And here we go. We are underway for qualifying. Deepova has retired immediately. Try. Yep, found Trugster, who we're going to ride on board with. But again, it's a Red Bull 1-2 at the front. But that's immediately been displaced by Simo Pez at the moment. Trugster is in 4th place. That was close to invalid. And it gained him a lot of time, but then he lost a fair bit in the next corner. Into the chicane. Don't hit the sausage curbs. Use all the runoff on the exit. The curb, carry the momentum through this corner. Oh, but he's clipped the curb! We've cursed him. He's clipped the curb. And that's going to be his qualifying session done. But it is still Simo Pez out front. He's looking on mighty form. And the final corner comes Rills, and it's Simo Pez by half a second. It's quite close, though. Clay Racing has managed to get up into 7th. I think that's probably his best starting position of this championship. That is a solid effort from Simo Pez yet again. He's just absolutely on it. That is going to be the qualifying order for the Hungarian Grand Prix. As we begin to load in now. Are we going to see another Simo Pez lights to flag? Or some of the others going to have a say about that when we get to turn 1? And it's lights out and away we go. Let's skip a bit further back so we can see some action. Is there really make it cleanly into turn 1? It is going to be Simo Pez. He makes it first into turn 1. Looks clean so far. About through the rest of Sector 1, it's looking good for a clean start so far. So well done to our drivers. As Rills is in 4th. Eisenberg is going around the outside. Can he make it stick? It's close. Zabi Jacket is off and has retired. Side by side. Beautiful from these two. They're still at it. Eisenberg, unfortunately, is backed out now. That is going to be the move for Rills Taravillo. For now. And Simo Pez. Simo Pez has crashed out of the lead. He's kept the car going, though. But that is surely going to be the end of his challenge for victory. As it's now a Red Bull 1-2. Mr. Debro leads from Dirt Shark. And Eisenberg is making the move back on Rills. Up the inside. Makes the apex. There's a bit of a squeeze. Leaves him some space. Around the outside. Beautiful side-by-side racing from these two. Max Verstappen could learn a thing or two from these guys. Absolutely brilliant. Side-by-side. Neither backed out. But it was all clean and it was all fair. As we've got a yellow. I think that might be for Deep Over, unfortunately. Another one of those. Oh, and Dirt Shark is round. And he's going to have to sit and wait for everybody to go past. And we've got the Alpines line astern. As we round the final corner. Eisenberg with the fastest lap. I think Simo Pez will probably have put a new set of tyres on and will blitz the fastest lap. So that's something to watch out for. But it's looking quite good for Rills, as Truckster is 12th and Nicholas Poiter is 6th and he's up in 3rd. He just needs to keep his cool. He will be looking solid for P2 in the championship. We're securing the 14 points that comes with that. As Eisenberg has dropped it, it's now going to be P2 for Rills. It's also going to be up positions for Poiter and for Trugster. But actually, Trugster's not in the points. He's going to need to make a few more places improvement. So we've got a yellow flag. Not actually a car slowing down, so nothing to worry about there. As there goes Nicholas Poiter to the inside of Hercus Monti, up into 4th place. Got some solid straight line speed in that Alpine. There's a yellow in Sector 3. I believe that's Eisenberg again, unfortunately. As we see, there's quite the battle going on here. They're all squabbling over 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th. As there we go, yeah, Simo has set the fastest lap. Just hoping to pick up some points, but he doesn't really need to. As Trugster has improved up to 10th now. Hercus Monti's picked up a penalty, so that's going to put him behind Barks and get the money and run. Trugster's pretty much pushing Mati Peretz through the middle sector here. Unable to make the pass, however. And he's been spun round. He's been spun round. So it's not going to be good for him in the championship. As now Barks has passed Hercus Monti. Let's get the money and run. Goes charging into the first corner. Very late on the brakes. But did manage to get it stopped. Carries the momentum. Actually, we see Clay Racing up there in 4th, been minding his own business. He's now staring at the back of Nicholas Poiter in 3rd place. Not quite able to make a dent in the advantage to the middle sector. And that's a little bit wide. Don't want to be doing that too many times. Now on the braking, he seems a little bit more confident. Then seems to scrub up a little bit more speed than he would have liked. These corners. That's going to be it. Mr. Debro takes the win from Rills. Nicholas Boyd to Clay Racing. Barks, Get the Money in Womax. Hercus Monty. Mati Peretz will come home in 9th. Only just ahead of Jules in 10th. Graham will get 11th. Snaggletooth will follow him home for 12th. Truckster down in 13th with significant front wing damage. Same for Tibran in 14th. And Eisenberg and Simo Pez. Will he be able to get another fastest lap? I don't think so. And Shark, probably another one with some front wing damage I think we saw earlier in the race. There's one more round to go now. We travel to Mexico City after this to get the final order. And it appears there's lots of lag. There seems to have been a bit of an incident at Monza where Truckster lagged back and Simo Pez forced him off the road, but because Simo Pez couldn't see where Truckster was, so that's a difficult one for the stewards. But I think it'd be difficult to penalise Simo Pez if Truckster wasn't actually there on his screen. I think that's going to be a difficult one to adjudicate. One more race to go in Mexico. This one is a bit of a trickier venue to say. The curbs are quite lethal. So if you make a bit of a mess of it, it does punish you. So Rills just needs a decent points finish and he's pretty much guaranteed second. Close between Boiter and Mr. Debro. Only 3 points in Boiter's favour. 3 points between Truckster and Womax in Womax's favour. They're a bit further back. As we're now going to load into Mexico for one-shot qualifying. Who's going to be first and fastest when they get round that corner? We will find out in approximately minute and a bit's time. We're looking for potentially it was 13s on the last game was what you wanted to be running, so maybe 14s, high 14s I think is potentially what we might be looking at. I'm not too sure. I haven't done too much Mexico on this game, so I could be very wrong. It could be a lot quicker than I'm expecting. It could be a lot slower. We'll find out, but I'm pretty sure Simo Pez is going to be pushing the boundaries of quite how quick this car can go. We're going to get underway. And away they go. It's going to be Clay Racing who's going to lead them so far. He appears to be running the least downforce. They're all kind of filtering like crazy so far. Trying to find Rills. There we go. It's Trugster at the moment. But now it's Simo Pez yet again up front. Max has retired. We go into the stadium section with Rills. He's doing a solid job, definitely enough to bring home P2. But Simo Pez is down in 14th. He's not had the last couple of races he would have wanted. So 15s was where we were at. Wasn't too far off. It's going to be Trugster who's first from Nicholas Boy to get the money and run. Tibran in 4th. And a couple of disqualifications at the bottom there. The Trugster's looking good. Actually pick up that 4th place in the championship. Nicholas Boiter is right behind second. I don't think he's going to be able to get that that 3rd place in the championship off him. 2nd place looks like it's going the way of Rills Taravillo. But of course this can all change very quickly. And it's a tight chicane. Go side by side through. Plenty of opportunity to overtake. And plenty of curbs to catch you out. So don't go anywhere. It's going to be an exciting finale to our evening of 5-lap races. As we wait for the final time to get underway. It's going to be Trugster that's going to lead them away. Take on the lights. Away we go. Who's going to be in the slipstream? And are they going to be able to keep it clean? It's looking clean so far. Nicholas Boiter's going for the move. Can they keep it clean further back? I hear some wheel banging, but it looks like everybody seems to have made it through just about okay. So Rills has made it up to 4th, but it's Nicholas Boiter that leads them. Get the money and run. Has found himself running up to 2nd place. As they filter through the 2nd sector now. This is where it becomes a bit one by one. As we've got Tibran running quite nicely in P5. It's a very tricky line through there. Simo Pez up to 12th. Not really in need of making up any more positions. Definitely has the potential to. Oh, let's get the money and run. It goes very sideways on the exit there, and that's going to give Trugster the opportunity. Although Get the Money and Run's running some seriously low downforces. Trugster's not really able to make a dent, and that's wide, and he's nearly taken out Boiter, but somehow made the apex of the corner. That was very late on the brakes from Get the Money and Run. As Jules has picked up a penalty. It's a bit of an advantage now for Nicholas Boiter. Taravillo's sticking it out in 4th. With Tibran following in 5th. Simo Pez is dropping down. On a 15th, it's not looking good. Down to 16th. So something's gone on with him. As Tibran is round. And he's going to have to sit there and wait for everyone to go past now. As we've got Eisenberg overtaking Mr. Debro. He's going to need some improvement in his battle to beat Trugster. I don't think it's going to quite work out. It's looking good for Nicholas Boiter, but Rills is still up there in 4th position. It's going to be difficult for Nicholas Boiter to do a lot more than what he's doing. If Rills is in 4th, it's not going to make a difference. But here comes Eisenberg to the outside of the stadium section. Not quite able to make the corner. I think Clay gave him a bit of a shove there by running wide on his own. Got to leave space now for Mr. Debro. As Trugster sets the fastest lap with a 16.700. But it's Womax with a 16.5 now. As they're all scrapping. And Matipa Rats and Hercus Monty have crashed. Further back. 3 into 1 did not go. Now Clay Racing and Mr. Debro are going at it. Mr. Debro's tapped Clay Racing. But he's managed to keep it on the road. And Dirt Shark do anything around the outside? Not quite. So now they're going to look towards their final opportunity up the main straight. I think Dirt Shark's going to be looking for one towards the stadium section here. Nicholas Boiter's picked up a penalty, so that will give the win to Trugster. Potentially. So there's a yellow in sector 3. Get the money and run is out. So it's going to be Rills in 3rd now. That is going to be... So Hercus Monty has crashed up. Dirt Shark has picked up a penalty. It's all beginning to kick off a little bit towards the end here now. Mr. Debro goes to the inside. Can he make move stick? Yes, there's a bit of wheel banging, but it's still clean. There's a bit more wheel banging. Left each other space. And Clay just about clings on to the position. More contact. But he's going to hold it. As Dirt Shark is following them. Albeit with that penalty that Clay also has. So it's not really relevant. Mr. Debro is still going to be going past. As Nicholas Boiter has picked up another penalty. So that's potentially going to give Rills an opportunity for 2nd. Although not quite, because he slowed down. Rills slowed down on the line. And that was gifted Nicholas Boiter 2nd position. Eisenberg 4th, Mr. Debro 5th, Womax 6th, Clay 7th, Dirt Shark 8th, Deep Overnights, Barks 10th. And we've got Tibran, Jules, Snaggletooth, Matipa Rats, Tim Lopez, and Newman Graham. Round out the finishers. And there we have it. Our 5-lap championship is complete. I'm going to read off who will be taking home points from the race. Towards their championship. We're going to have a quick look at the standings. That is where we're at it is Mr. Debro who is on top before this evening. Simo Pez is going to be taking home the 15 points. 14 for Rils Taravillo. 13 for Nicholas Boiter. 12 for Trugster. 10 for Mr. Debro. 9 for Woomax. 8 for Eisenberg. 7 for Jules. 6 for Dirt Shark. 5 for Get the Money and Run. 4 for Clay Racing. 3 for Tibran. I've messed up somewhere. But down to, you get the idea, down to Hercus Monty. He will have 1 point to his name. So that is going to round out the race. Well, the race is today. Now, for the next round, that will again be in a week's time. It's the same time. After this, we will have Division 2 this evening. So I hope you will stick around to watch Leo take you through the proceedings in Division 2. After that, next week, round 6, it's the big one. It's Monaco. It's full qualifying. It's a 100% race. So we've got Q1, Q2 and Q3. And then a 100% race. That is potentially going to be a dual commentary between me and Leox. We are still organising that. And we will let you know as soon as we can when we've got the plan for that all sorted. But that will end it for today's proceedings. I hope you do stick around for our Division 2 broadcast from my colleague Leo, and I will end the stream here. I hope you have all enjoyed, and I hope you stick around to watch the end of the broadcast. But from me, it's bye for now. I hope to see you all next week for round 6.